Well, hello there. I'm here today to tell you why atheism is the path to becoming delusional. Many atheists are delusional. Let's begin with Richard Dawkins writing the book, The God Delusion, whereby he's calling us delusional. Would you like to know how he got started with that idea? They were calling him delusional, so he counterattacked. And it caught on worldwide because there are so many atheists and so many godless in the world who were willing to take up the banner of atheism that he provided it for them. A license from a scientist to call us delusional. This is something sinners want to do, and Dawkins is like the licensing agent, if you will. Because he's a scientist, they can point to him and say, hey, Dawkins says you're delusional, therefore you are because the scientist says so. That's just the license they were looking for. Now, atheists will tell you there is not enough evidence to convince them that God exists. Then they begin to fight against God Almighty and preach against Him and oppose religion and us who believe, and are literally fighting against Him whom they say there is not enough evidence to prove His existence. That is delusional. Atheism is the pathway to delusionalism. We have said many times to atheists that there are infinite numbers of cosmic bodies in orderly orbits perpetually, without a pilot or any need for refueling or maintenancing. And we say this is evidence of supreme intelligent design. The atheist says, are you confusing order and complexity with design? No, we're not. The greater the complexity of the order and design that God has put into being in this universe, the greater the evidence of His genius. No scientist on the earth can launch an orbital Earth vehicle like the one we are riding on. It carries us 1,608,000 miles every day of our lives in an orderly orbit perpetually, without a pilot, without refueling, and without maintenancing. No scientist can put anything into orbit comparable to what God has done. We are not confused about complexity. It just proves God's greater genius. Humanity is finite-minded. God has infinite understanding. And it's by His infinite understanding that the brilliant functionality of the universe has been brought into being. Atheists generally believe in the Big Bang, but there is no evidence in the incomplete Big Bang theory for where the building materials come from. And when we ask them, where are those? Then they retreat into, well, the universe created itself, or it's always been. Or we'll get around to it someday. No, you won't. You will never prove the Big Bang. It's impossible to prove the Big Bang theory. God created the universe. He is the beginning and the end of all things, the Alpha and the Omega. Atheists will say, evolution's already a proven fact. Oh, really? Then why is it creationists are arguing with you and disputing every claim you make? come up with an indisputable claim, if you can. If you have 1 billion lifetimes, you can't do it. So you see, the atheist is left with a self-creating universe, with self-creating life forms in it, and can never prove it, and is delusional for thinking that they can dismiss their creator and follow hard after incomplete theories that can never be proven. I mentioned the atheist the other day who looked outside of his window and said he saw a tree, and that couldn't be supremely intelligently designed. Well, let's take a look at a tree. There you're looking at a tree. It has purpose. Its wood is good for building. It provides shade and housing for insects and birds and other critters. And it reproduces itself. The pine cones, the female, have to be pollinated by the male. I don't know if you're aware of that. And that's how they come up again in like manner. And you think that's a random accident? I tell you, it's supreme intelligent design. And you're delusional if you think it just invented itself.